that's perfect word. So people call it insecurity. You got onto my point. It's almost like you can read my mind, Rob. People call it insecurity. They say,
if
well,
you've got 1 inch, the other guys are going to have bigger dicks.
Well, people call it insecurity and people call it lots of things. But truthfully, what it is heterosexuality. And any of these men who go, oh yeah, I don't mind her being covered in cum, they need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and probably get an AIDS test because they're gay. And that's fine. I mean, some people are gay. But you can be gay. You can have gay sex with a woman. Of course you can. I mean, the point of having sex with a woman is to get her pregnant. By and large. I'd argue that being horny in general is kind of gay. To be like, I'm so horny. Like, I'm a full-grown man. I'm so horny. I'm so horny. Like, who?
Yeah, but to me, gay's fucking another guy.
No. Gay's doing gay shit, bro. Gay's having sex with a woman without the intention of impregnating her. Having sex with a woman who's covered in cum. Fucking all this is just gay sex. It's all gay. Have sex with a woman and have a child.
What, so you only have sex on ovulation day?
It's not about that, but there has to be a chance.
So you're gay.
There has to be a chance of a child arriving.
But what about on your boat with 25 hoes?
Who says I even fuck them? You think, Rob, this is what I mean. You're so trapped in the Matrix. You're so trapped in the Matrix.
I think you're judging me, Andrew.
No, you think
I'm not trapped in the Matrix.
You think I'll get 25 whores on a boat and then be like, yeah, let me fuck them? No, I just want 25 whores on my boat because it's like I want whores on my boat. I want trees in my forest. Like, they're just there because I've got a boat. I've got a boat and there's women on my boat and they're all beautiful and everyone's jealous of me while I sit there, and even though they all annoy me and I don't even want to fuck them, I just sit on my laptop. But that's just life. It's not even about fucking them. It's not about the sex. You're thinking about sex. This is beyond sex. Nothing to do with sex.
Unless you're only having sex in ovulation, then you're gay. Because then that's the only way a girl's conceiving really is around ovulation.
Well, my point is that if there is a slight chance, and there's always a chance.
Very, very slim though.
Okay, but if there's a chance.
So, okay, you're 50% gay.
If there's a chance of a baby appearing,
yeah,
then I would argue that that is pretty heterosexual sex because heterosexual sex leads to babies. What is the differentiator between heterosexual and homosexual sex? The primary differentiator between the two is offspring. So if you're having sex that cannot possibly lead to offspring in any way, that is gay sex.
Yeah, but if
you're fucking a girl in the ass, you're gay. Why? If you're turning up with a condom and fucking a woman on birth control, you're gay.
Do you do anything for pleasure? Do you do anything just for fun,
If you're a white
Andrew?
man who gets his fucking balls cut open, I know white boys who voluntarily get vasectomies. They voluntarily have their dick chopped to pieces just to make sure they don't accidentally have a beautiful child. Like, how fucking gay can you be? This is all gay sex. If I have sex, there's a chance of a kid. That's the life I live. That's the man I am. If the kid comes, it's a blessing from God. Good. If no kid comes, fine. That's how it is. But if you were to say to me, Andrew, you can come have sex here, and there's no chance of there ever being a kid. It's just for fun.
There's always a
chance, I would say,
though.
sorry, I'm not gay.
Condoms aren't 100% reliable. So that day, someone did have a 0.01% chance of impregnating me.
No, but they're trying to not have a kid.
Well, how do you know? Did you ask him?
Well, if you have a condom on, you're trying not to have a kid.
Who said I didn't put a pin in it?
The man putting the condom on his dick is trying to not have a kid. The realest nigger there would turn up and say, listen, I'm going to impregnate in Bonnie Blue. You all keep the condoms on. Fuck it. I'm having a baby out of this bitch because I ain't fucking for free. So let me get a kid at least. I mean, you got money to look after it. You can just block you on WhatsApp. You can raise it. That's free progeny. These people ain't thinking right.
Do you do anything just for fun?
Loads of stuff.
Like what?
But I don't think running around. I mean, maybe when I was younger, but I'm an old man now. I'm old. I'm 38. I really have no interest in fucking dead puss. You know when girls sit and say, I'm on birth control. Disgusting. Vile. There's nothing more disgusting than a bitch on birth control.
Yeah, but I think it's
dead
disgusting
pussy.
If women get pregnant and they can't afford to look after that kid, or they end up in a council house on benefits and that kid has a shit life.
No, this is good. Bonnie,
well,
this
is good.
No, let me explain.
We're going to run out of beans.
No, let me explain. This is a great thing. Feminism's led us here, and we voted to let in all these migrants, and all these migrants turn up and rape the state. Look, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If I got a woman pregnant and she annoyed me, I'd say, yeah, call the council. Fuck you. Let's just rape the state like everyone else does. I'm brown enough. I'm black enough. I can do it. Put her in Marsh Farm Luton, where I'm from. Be fine.
You wouldn't do that.
Who gives a fuck?
You wouldn't do that.
Who
that's
cares?
your kid.
She better text me respectfully. She can be rich. If she texts me beef, I'll be like, call the council, get a council house, whatever. Let's have kids. Let's just all live off the government. This is feminism. Because you don't live off the government if you have a husband. They don't want husbands. And they don't want husbands. Women want to get married, but they don't want husbands. They want to get married like Sex in the City style. You know, like you fuck a million men, then you get married to some really rich guy who lets you do whatever you want. Then you have an affair with the gardener, and then you spend all his money, and then somehow you're still the victim. That's the kind of marriage they want.
That's
they
most
don't
women's
want
dream.
That's right. They don't actually want to be wives because wives are obedient and wives are quiet and wives listen. All women say this. I want to marry you. I want to marry you. Wait till you're in an argument with them and read their messages and go, this is why I will never marry you. This is why I will never marry you. I read their messages and they don't realize that they've ruined their chance forever. I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you can
And
do is
here you are.
go and get on that naughty corner.
That's right.
That naughty step.
So women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married, which means that the whole familiar structure is broken. Once the family structure is broken, who has to take the place? Government. Think about this. In Romania, we have no mental health care. Why are there no mental people or out in the streets? Family. We have no forced child support. Why are women not starving to death? Family. We have no disability care. Why are people not sitting on the streets with no legs? Family. Family does so much work. In the West, we have no family. So the government has to come along and offer mental health care, disability care, forced child support. The government has to do it because of feminism. So what I'm saying is if women don't want to get married to men anymore and they all want to listen to the fucking government, then the government can raise the motherfucking kids. Fine. Rob, you put 4 women in front of me, all different flavors. You give me Indian, Chinese, black, white, whatever. And you say you fuck them all and have a kid out of all of them and they'll all be raised on council estates around England. I'd say no problem. Why not? Why the fuck not? If they're real niggers, they'll survive.
If you don't feel guilty, that's your child.
Why would I feel guilty?
Because that's your child, it's your DNA.
Of course, and if the woman's nice to me and says, Andrew, I'm tired of living in Runcorn.
But
Can I come live in Dubai in a mansion? I'll say, of course, my dear.
But then
if she annoys me, if she's like, oh, I'm here in Dubai and you left me by myself and you're with all these other women, who are all these whores on your boat? Then I'm like, bitch, go back to Runcorn.
Take the kid off her.
No, I'm not gonna take the kid off her. She can keep the kid.
Yeah, but it's your DNA.
Yeah, of course. And my DNA is survivor DNA.
Well, and if you've got a proper wife, that other wife will take that kid.
At least 5 of them will be real niggers. I don't need the other 45. Look, it's survival of the fittest out here. This is how it works. This is how my brain works. But you're saying, I don't know why we're gonna sit here and create the logic fail of pretending it is wrong for a government to raise the children when that was a man's job, when men have had all of their authority removed. You want us to have the responsibility of a woman, the responsibility of a family, the responsibility of children, the responsibilities with none of the authority. You can't tell a woman what to do. You can't tell her to be quiet. You can't tell your kids off. You can't tell her not to suck dick. You can't tell her not to go out with her friends. If you do any of that, it's emotionally coercive behavior. That's a criminal charge in England. If you tell your own wife not to go to the pub and fuck, you're the criminal.
Oh, you're so controlling.
That's right.
Let me do stuff.
But I'm still responsible? No. Looks like the government has more power than me. So if you want to play this game and take all of my authority away as a man, you want to reduce me to nothing more than a tax slave. Well, then I'm going to play your game back at you. I have no authority, so I have no responsibility. I will look after children, and I will look after the women who give me absolute authority over their lives, who say, yes, sir, anything you say, sir, I trust what you believe in the world. I trust you're guiding us. I trust you to take care of us. Yes, sir. Those women are driving Bentleys currently, living in mansions currently. And the women who say, I don't want to listen to you, I want to do what I want, are currently in council houses. And I have kids with all of them. And I don't give a fuck. Because this is my masculine imperative, to impregnate. And when I die, no matter what you think of me, no matter what anyone thinks of me, no matter what anyone watches this, has a bad problem with me, whatever, I get to die with 100 children. I win. I had 100 kids. I was one of the most famous men on the planet, made hundreds of millions of dollars, spent a little time in jail, whatever. I win. Great life. Genghis Khan. There's men out there who go, oh no, I've got my 2 kids, that's enough. That's your choice. To me, it sounds like failure. Perma-failure. And the only reason they're doing that is because their women wouldn't give them more. Or they're afraid to have kids with another woman in case their woman finds out.
A lot of guys say, like I speak to, the wife wants another kid, but they don't want it because they know they'd have to work longer hours. They know they'd have to do more work. Yeah, the wife wants another kid because she's like, fucking